Oh yeah, it is that type of day, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, as you can see on the screen now. It's gonna be one of those streams, man. We got Meg the Stallion coming into MCU, twerking with She-Hulk, and yeah, it's live. It's live. We are now in phase 4 is officially that type of phase, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, our live She-Hulk after show, where we break down the episode, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm so excited to be here with you all. Got my man Chris coming in a little bit, and Amanda might be able to join us a little bit later. And we'll do the live calls too. That's been a lot of fun, and I got some questions you all asked in the community tab as far as MCU or She-Hulk questions I will answer a little bit later. So before we get into today's festivities, yeah, get your twerking shorts on, get your twerking shoes on, and let's get into it. But make sure you give the video a thumbs up, share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, man. We do these lives to not only have a good time and obviously catching up with Chris and Amanda and all the different guests we have on, but also to interact with you all, to talk about this show, MCU as a whole, and all the good stuff that we have to talk about. So definitely leave your thoughts in the comments of the live chat, and also shout out to the replay gang. With all that being said, my man's back from vacay, and he came back with a twerking Megan Thee Stallion at MCU. Chris, what are the times we're living in, man? What is going on?
I don't even know. I don't know. I left you guys in charge. I come back and
Meg's taking over,
twerking.
bro. Yeah, that's where we're at, man.
She twerking. That's her new name.
Bro, I am so excited to be here with you talking about this episode, chopping up the pros and the cons. And, we got some theorizing we can maybe make the Wrecking Crew and if Meg, if she has a superpower, if it is, maybe it is twerking and she's going to, Kang, I got nothing on Meg when she come in and twerking on him, man. It's over. It's a done game.
She's obviously bulletproof, so maybe she already has one.
Yeah, man. Tory Guns, is he going to be coming up in next
Tory
episode?
Guns, nice.
Listen, man, Chris, it's so good to have you back, man. If you want to let the people know at home, if this is the first time tuning in, who are you and where can they find your content, man?
I am Iron Man. No, I'm Chris Tait, representing Tait's Take. Shout out to you guys in the chat. I see some people coming in. I see the homie Caitlin. So if Caitlin's here, that means the show can go on, no problem. So I do YouTube videos. I break down movies, TV shows, documentaries, all that kind of stuff. Try to give you a little background on the content and then just let you know if I think it's worth checking out or not. So yeah, you got my information is in the bio there. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. And if you know me already, shout out to you for joining in to this week's stream.
Yes, sir, man. Well, like I said, Chris, I know you was on vacay last week, man. Did you get a chance to catch any new movies or shows while you were off on vacay, man?
I didn't catch any movies, but if I was here, I would have gone to check out. I saw your review for Breaking, so I'm gonna either watch that. I gotta watch that, and then The Invitation, which I think is maybe a little polarizing now. So I'm gonna check that out.
Oh yeah, the vampire movie or something.
The Invitation, yeah, that's like the crazy wedding overseas, like that Ready or Not type of vibe. So I'm gonna check those out. And believe it or not, this is gonna shock you. This is gonna really shock you. This weekend, Labor Day weekend, I'm going to watch for the first time a top 5 grossing movie of all time.
Top 5 grossing movie of all
that
time.
I haven't seen yet.
Okay.
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, have you seen the OG, the original?
I'm watching
the OG tonight.
I'm watching the OG tonight, and then I'm finally going to, because I was like, all right, I wanted to see it like IMAX and all that, and then I missed that. I was supposed to watch Top Gun on Netflix. They took it off Netflix. And then I'm like, I'll just wait till it comes on stream to watch Maverick. But then they put it back on IMAX at Lincoln in the biggest theater. So I'm like, oh,
making all that money.
Perfect. Yeah.
Bro, so let me tell you, you're in for a treat. I'm Top Gun 1 is a really fun kind of mid-90s or 80s, kind of nostalgia type of film. I'm a Tom Cruise fan, so Tom Cruise is great in it. Then when you see the sequel, bro, the hype is real. Like the hype is definitely. I know you've heard all the reviews and I've seen the money shows, but it's a legit like fantastic movie.
That's epic. I'm
You're gonna
happy.
like it. I
I'm
think you're gonna
excited.
like it, man. You're gonna
I'm
understand
excited.
Goose. You're gonna meet Goose and Maverick and all that stuff, man. It's
Yeah,
a fantastic franchise, man.
definitely
But
did not want to watch that without watching the original. I'm not gonna disrespect you
yeah,
like that.
yeah, and it definitely helps too, especially it got. I'm telling you, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. It has a lot of heart too, surprisingly.
Yeah,
So,
no, I need that. I need that. But
um,
yeah, besides that, I'm trying to think what else I need to watch that's coming out. I mean, August is, yeah, as you know, it's a
yeah,
quiet month
it's
for,
kind of
for really good
yep,
movies.
yeah. I
Last
mean,
movie that I watched, I think, well, I did the Beast review. That was the last thing.
yeah.
You know,
Listen, man, we're living in a time where Marvel's on, Star Wars is coming back in a couple weeks, Lord of the Rings starts tonight, House
and
of the
Game of
Dragon,
Thrones.
Game of Thrones is on. It's like what is going on? We're living in like this crazy age of fandom. So and She-Hulk is in the mix of all that. But shout out to the chat. We got Kenny. I want to call in on this one. Hey, I'll be sharing the link a little bit later, Kenny. So definitely stick around if we can get your thoughts. We got Meg in the chat. Geek saying what's up to everyone. We got L. What's going on, L? How we doing? Zia, what's going on? Of course, Caitlin showing some love. And Caitlin, again, we're going to be sharing that link a little bit later. Chris, Caitlin joined us last week. Me and Amanda met her on screen last week, which was a lot of fun. So you're
I
definitely welcome
missed
to
a
come in,
live
man.
Caitlyn. That's crazy. No,
She
there's no
came
way.
and joined the chat, bro,
Nah,
and
there's
had
no
a
way
lot
I
of great
missed that.
things to say,
That's
man.
crazy. I checked.
Definitely.
I was like in and out because I was in the airport. Like I was able to catch a little bit, but it was before you like went to the live, so I missed it.
Yeah, man. So Caitlin, definitely welcome to come back in. Zia, what's going on? Embarrassing show. We'll get to that, man, because I've had a revelation, Chris. My eyes have been open, bro, with this episode in particular. So we'll definitely
Okay.
get into it. What's going on? What's going on? So listen, man, let's just jump. Just subscribe to. Yep. Well, you listen, L. You are in for a treat. My man has fire content, so you are definitely in for a treat there. Chris, man, we didn't have you on last week. Before we get into this episode and why, let me get my dog situated because he's making a ruckus over there. Briefly, what was your thoughts on episode 2? And then we'll dive into this episode.
I remember when I jumped in the chat, I was like, this episode felt like it was 13 minutes. So I remember like it ended and I was like, wait, what is like, how is it over already? I'm just trying to think, like, I can't even remember like the important things that happened. I know it was like the introduction of the abomination and in the prison and all that. I thought he was like a cool character. I thought that the scene was cool with them. I just thought the episode was overall short. I didn't really have any like real problems with the episode. I don't think I had any problems with the episode. It just seemed like a little like this is like here's 10 minutes of content.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think it didn't like push the narrative.
Yeah. And going and totally, we spoke about that last week, and even Griff came on last week too. And we were talking about just kind of it did feel what's the show? What is She-Hulk ultimately about? And last week definitely, like you said, it kind of went by, came and went.
Today, this episode made it okay. I understand where the show could be, what they're trying to do, whether it's good or not. I think today was like, okay, this is where we're trying to go with this.
I think you hit it right on the head, man. And like you said, whether you love it or not, at least now is having, okay, she's a lawyer. She's a She-Hulk. She's Jennifer balancing her life, but she's also, we're going to get all these different, which as they pitched as a sitcom comedy with courtroom shenanigans. And that's exactly what this episode was. A lot of shenanigans, elves, and dancing Meg the Stallion. So, I mean, it's as advertised, man. And the thing that I know some people, like you said, Chris, we'll get to our thoughts here. I know some people are hating this episode in the series so far, but what I
Definitely
like,
don't hate it.
Yeah, what I like about the series, man, is when we first met She-Hulk, this is on brand to me. Like this is completely different from like the Hulk or the Thor, where I feel like the characters have now went into this certain direction where they're just like, I don't even know who they are anymore. I don't find them to be endearing or funny at the bare minimum. But She-Hulk let us know from episode 1, this is who she is. She's breaking the fourth wall. We're seeing the world in her point of view, and I think again, whether you love it or hate it, it's kind of on brand, man. That's what I'm thinking so far from this. And then this episode definitely displayed all of that and more.
Yeah, I don't hate it, and it's early, and even if I did kind of hate it, I'm like, okay, it's 3 episodes out of 9. Like I can't be like that early to be hating it. It just is regular right now, and it's like to me, the ending, of course, was a little cheesy. Of course, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But to me personally, it hasn't showed me any fatal flaws where I'm like, this is nonsense. Like, nothing egregious, I would say.
Some of and we'll get in this episode in particular because this was probably the more goofier episode out of the 3. Some of the jokes haven't really resonated with me, especially when Jennifer is not on screen, She-Hulk. I don't find any of those other characters to be enduring or interesting at all. They don't even feel like they're rooted in reality. Like this Dennis guy. I mean, yes, there's douchebag, misogynistic dudes in the world, but it's just like
Her
tuned up to
assistant
like
is
10.
okay.
Her friend Nikki or whatever.
She's like not like
Yeah,
you're gonna write
yeah,
home about her, but she's not like
yeah.
she's fine.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. They're just all, it's either they're like Nikki or they're just below her boss, and yeah, all the other secondary. And then we'll get to my man Wong, Chris.
Mm,
That's my boy. That is my boy. But
that
for
is your boy.
somehow, some way, he seemed very the reasoning for him and we'll get to that, man. But I don't know, some of these characters, a Wong, an Abomination, and this is one of my gripes with Spider-Man is, Doctor Strange had to kind of dumb himself down to fit into that world. And I feel like some of these other characters are kind of doing the same to a certain extent. But we'll get into all that stuff there. But before we do so, Chris, just general impressions of this third episode.
My general impressions of the third episode, that it was better than the second episode. The first episode was pretty good. And this episode would have been just like a regular episode. The ending was really cheesy, and then they could have did it in a way that wasn't that cheesy. They could have de-cheesed it, but they decided to go full cheese on it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like I feel like this is like a polarizing show, and I feel like this
Mm-hmm.
episode maybe gave the people who were on the hating side enough reason to keep hating it even more.
One of the scenes, and we'll get to it here in a second, when they trolled the trolls of Marvel, I thought that was great writing. And shout out to Michael MCA. It's a lot of conversations right now. And then again, Mike, I'm so glad that they kind of are trolling it. And like you said, Chris, this is going to add more fuel to the fire. And I love it that they're embracing that. It's just like, it's not going to work for you, but we're going to poke fun of you while we're telling our story. I have a theory on why this show is the tone that it is. Well, hey, Kenny, like I said, when we share that link, man, I would love to hear your thoughts on all that. We got Brandon in the building. What's going on to be Avery? So let's just get into it, man. We opened this episode with obviously ending last week with Abomination finding out about the Shang-Chi fight sequence, which I guess it hasn't been, I made a video on it. I've seen tons of other videos regarding timeline-wise. Wait. If Shang-Chi took place during this time, how was Bruce Banner have the sling on his arm at the post-credit scene? And we know he was healed, but some people, it kind of made sense that they said it was leaked footage. So it could have been like weeks ago that they finally got a hand on the footage to show him out there. But nonetheless, Jennifer is beyond upset about him leaving his cell and kind of breaking the law and getting into all the shenanigans. And he tells her that it was against his will. It was this Sorcerer Supreme that had him come out of his cage to fight him, and that is no other than Wong. Chris, your thoughts on Mr. Wong and the reasoning to get Abomination out of his cell was because he needed a challenge to be the new Sorcerer Supreme. Even though he's been a Sorcerer Supreme for 5 years, he needed a challenge from Abomination.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you could get anyone else to challenge you. You can find someone else. I think it was just written in to correct it to like move the story along. So I was just like, I'm gonna have to just suspension of belief this whole thing and just this is like just one of those just go with it thing. Like just go, yeah. Don't ask questions. Just go.
don't ask no question. Yeah, it's definitely one of those moments because, as you just said, and he's been the Sorcerer Supreme since Endgame, and we know there's a 5-year gap. But his only challenger that he seems to be someone that he can challenge is Abomination, who's been locked up for 15 years. I don't know, Wong. Have you heard of Wanda in Westview? Is that a good enough challenge for you, Wong, to stop this woman taking advantage of this town? But either way, this was kind of funny. And as we can see, Wong has been doing his thing as Sorcerer Supreme full time. He's a librarian. And shout out to Target, man. Listen, one of my first jobs, full-time jobs when I was in high school was, or not full-time, part-time, into college, it was full-time, was working at Target. And I wasn't there as long as Mr. Wong, but shout out to the Target gang.
I'm definitely Chris, a Target gang too. I used to work at Target as well.
Hey, that's where humble beginnings, my friend. If I would have worked at Walmart or something starting off, I don't know where I would be, Chris. So I think shout out to Target.
You'd be in jail right now, bro.
Right. I'll be with Abomination, man, but my 7 PayPal buddies helping me out. But again, man, his reasoning seems to be, as you just said, kind of a throwaway line or kind of fits into this show's kind of jokiness nature of it all. Like he has to find a challenge. But again, I try not to dive deep into it, but I guess I'll just take it. Well, we have to, right? That's just canon now that's why he did what he did. So
Yeah.
we got to move on. We got to move on, man. But as we do move along, like you said, Nikki's funny. She says she gave him a thirst trap and had to get him in, and he liked the picture and whatnot. That's kind of funny. But I think for the first time this season, Chris, we got like more than one wall breaking moment, and I thought all of them were kind of funny in my opinion, especially this one here. And we've seen this in the trailer when she acknowledges that this is cameo of the week, but it's still her show. I kind of like that moment there. What do you think about that, Chris?
I think that's the best moment of the episode.
Yeah.
It's like I told you in episode 1. Like I do appreciate when she's been going through the fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall, because it hasn't been cheesy yet. Maybe I think the one was kind of cheesy this week. I think the later one, I forgot what she even said. But this was really good, and I was like, oh wow, it's like it was very Deadpool of her to even like reference that, because that's something he would say, like, it's still my show, like just
right.
There's a couple cameos here and there. Yeah, it was good.
And that's been, and I'll be honest with you, man, that has been, and we've talked about it, the casting of Marvel has always been flawless, but she, to me, has really, I don't want to say impressed me because I've seen her work before, but I have been impressed because I've never really seen this side of her as an actress, Tatiana, in regards to her comedic timing and just kind of her leaning more into the comedy side of her acting.
It just feels like effortless.
Exactly. That is a perfect word to describe it. It's very effortless, and she just fits so perfect in this world. But speaking of kind of perfect in this world, I think this episode, again, just highlighting some of the things that really worked for me before we get into maybe some things that were a little bit too off the cuff for me. But the world that we live in, and again, put it in the sense of the MCU and seeing the Thanos and seeing the Atari and all the shenanigans this world has seen, the backlash of a character of She-Hulk, a superhero, being a lawyer, and the tabloids are all over it. And again, as I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier in regards to the social media aspect of the haters and the misogynistic, sexist comments that's been thrown towards the this character here, I just thought that the writers, number one, obviously the show was shot before the trailer was out, before that, but the fact that the MCU and the writers knew there was going to be obviously some pushback, and this was like kind of their clapback, I thought that was just hilarious.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And then I love that they had that dude on there saying, "I would smash." That was like the most realistic thing I've ever seen. Because like they could have easily cut that out. This is Disney.
Yeah,
but like niggas would say that. So
yeah. I mean, listen, Chris, we're at the point now where if we can twerk on Disney Plus, I mean, no holds bars, bro. Like we can do anything now on MCU. We can.
I had to rewind it. I was like, did he really? And I was like, oh wow, he did.
He did say it. I'm like, hold on. I think I have the frame right here, my man. Which, I mean, Chris, let's be honest with each other. Let's keep it 100, man. If if She-Hulk was in front of you, you're out in the club, man, and she out there doing her thing on the dance floor. I mean, are you approaching her with the number, Chris? Are you asking, can you take her out on a date? What's up, Chris?
Yeah, I would shoot my shot. I mean, I'm a decently tall dude, and she's way taller than me, so I feel like at least in that bar, I'll probably have the best chance. So I'll shoot my shot for sure, as long as I knew that I wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah,
I agree, bro. I would do it. I would shoot the shot.
Yeah, I mean,
and she got a good job, and she got healthcare.
Yeah, she knows, I mean, she can, she has a nice connects, obviously, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you can maybe hang out with Kate Bishop and hang out with, the new Cap, so I think she's every man's dream, if you ask me, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just create so much scandal because I'll just like use that. I'll get caught up trying to slide on Yelena, and then it would be
no
loyalty.
But this, okay, so we again acknowledging the fourth wall breaking, the kind of the meta nature of them trolling the trolls out there. This is where the episode to me took a bit of a turn for, I don't want to say the worst, but it just kind of was disinterested in this aspect, and that's the kind of the B storyline, which is the courtroom. The dentist coming in, and first off, this I don't know if this character is going to be pivotal or not. She like literally popped in and out of the show. I don't remember the actress's name, but she comes in, and the whole subplot of plot B is Dennis, who She-Hulk or Jennifer worked with in the past, has been I don't say catfished. I guess we could say he's been catfished. He thought he was Oh man, this is kind of funny. Like, dude, you really think he would get Meg? And I love that they kind of played to that. But the whole, he thought he was dating Meg, but instead he was interacting with an elf from New Asgard. Chris,
Yeah.
man, did that plot, that B plot, was it funny? Did it work? Were you intrigued, or was it just a joke that just went on a little bit too long for your taste?
I agree. Manti Teo, impressive. I agree that it did go on too long. I didn't care about it in the moment. And I also like it just felt like, okay, we got Meg to join the show. So like put her in something. So I was like, I don't care about this. Like, that Meg would never go for this random dude like this.
Yeah.
And then, like and thing like, oh shoot, like she drives a Passat or whatever the car was that he claimed that she had. Like they dragged this out a little too long. I wasn't like kicking and screaming like this was terrible television,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't like engaged. I was like, okay, on.
That's a perfect word. I was disengaged. I was very much disengaged. Again, and we all kind of, I think it was revealed last week on different social media outlets that Meg the Stallion was going to be involved. And lo and behold, it was this episode. But again, I know it's all fun and games, but I just, again, it's a less than 30-minute episode, and I just feel like there could be so much more to kind of involve into the story than going with this whole, Meg the Stallion catfish angle with this guy, being taken advantage of by Asgardian elf. So, but again, this is the show. This is the show, Chris. They're having fun. They're playing to absurdity of things. And even at this moment here, again, I know we briefly talked about Wong, but was it nice seeing Wong for you, Chris? As far as seeing him being involved, again, we kind of knew this from the trailers that he was going to be in the show, and I
I think
think
it's
he would.
always cool for the
Yeah.
cameos to see the cameos. I'm not like you. I'm like a huge Wong fan, but I was like, I'm
Oh,
always
I love
like
Wong, bro.
connecting these new characters to like the OGs. I'm like, I always like to see that. And
Yeah.
then also like just overall for the courtroom stuff, like if you're in the writer's room and you're like, all right, this is a show about trials and it's like Law and Order, but with superhero shit. Like they could have got really creative, especially in a shape-shifting case. Like I guess my opinion is that the shape-shifting case could have been way more interesting. Like not like Megan
Yeah.
is like
He could have
catfishing this guy.
catfished the Secretary of Defense and had missiles to their disposal. And to your point, Chris, to that moment you just mentioned, I go back on my thoughts in regards to they could have went a different route, but again, knowing that this show isn't that, it isn't serious and dark and brooding, world-ending type of events. They're playing more to the B level, C level list characters I mean, in reality, if we lived in a world where there were superheroes, we would have a lot of petty crimes going on, of people
Yeah.
catfishing individuals, robbing banks for the hell of it, versus world-ending disasters taking over the world type of thing. So I guess that's where this show kind of fits in the narrative, that she is kind of more grounded in the sense she's not intergalactic dealing with all that stuff. She'll probably will in the future, but I guess I can appreciate that in regards to just the level of the realism of, if there were superheroes, that there would be some petty crimes going on.
Yeah, there would be petty crimes, and that's why like there's so many opportunities to do this. Like this guy, would he really pay $170,000 to a millionaire, and he's not a
Right.
millionaire? He
Right.
wouldn't. He doesn't have that. So like you could have just done anything. Like where like it's if you're pretending to be Meg, what would you really do? Like then maybe do you bring in another celebrity where they're like, damn, I thought I was doing a music video with this girl, but she can't dance, she can't sing. So
Yeah.
it's just everyone trying to figure out like, wait, what happened to Meg? Kind of like Space Jam, like they lose their powers. Like then you
Yeah.
really you drag Megan's acting chops to see what she can do to be the fake Meg. Then there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, this is only 3 episodes in. I'm very intrigued to see, because I never really looked at this show. I thought it was going to always be like, she was going to be always defending superheroes, defending their crimes, like, or villains of in the case of Abomination, or anti-villain at this point. But it is interesting now that this show has opened up the door that there will be people that's going to want to sue superheroes, and to,
Yeah,
if
get
someone,
their
if
damages.
exactly, if Thor threw his Mjolnir or Stormbreaker into someone's kitchen, they're gonna probably be like, "I want to take Thor to court. He damaged my house." Or Loki, whoever, the Avengers, Kate Bishop, her whole, when she destroyed that the school property. What if the headmaster wants to take her to court? So it is an interesting concept that we can now kind of, and again, I know they're not going to have this in the movies, but this is why you have Disney Plus, so you can kind of play with the ideas of, okay, what's going on in the day-to-day lives of regular people in the MCU. So that's where this show kind of fits, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm reading some of the comments here. This is a complete side note. I know you're not a DC fan, but I did see earlier before we went live, DC canceled. I mean, at this point, Chris, I know you're loving it. I know you're not a DC fan, so is that?
I'm not a DC fan, but I'm like I'm a diehard Apple fan, right? Like I love iPhones, whatever. I'll never have another phone, but I love when Samsung puts out a good phone because like I like the world of competition. Like you can have a debate, Like no one like they say they can't debate an iPhone now, but I would love for DC to do well, like as a superhero fan. Like I'm not like ever like, oh well, fuck DC. Like I want them to be good. Yeah. So and DC fandom was fire. So
yeah, I mean the first one was. Second one was kind of weird to me, but yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. You know me. I'm a DC before Marvel. And one of these days we will get our shit
together. Crazy. You might never ever get your shit together.
We will, man. I'm here for it, Chris. We will, bro. But it isn't shocking because like Michael and everyone in the chat said, I mean, they canceled everything. What are you gonna have a DC fan? I'm talking about. I don't know, the Batman that came out earlier this year. Like it's not much to advertise right now with Shazam being pushed back to next year and Aquaman. So either way, back on topic with the Marvel stuff. I saw a lot of videos last week when she met Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination. He had mentioned something about there were these PayPal buddies of his. Yeah, of someone buying some land. And, a lot of people were speculating, Chris, online that maybe they're alluding to the Thunderbolts, because that is a film that was announced at Comic-Con, and we might see him join that group, or, the Dark Avengers, Zemo might have bought him land, or Val is recruiting him, which that still might be the case. But as it be right now, Chris, those are real women that he was referring to. So I don't know if that burst a bubble of some fans out there, or if there was something that you were looking forward to. But did you find the reveal that there were actually 7 women that were paying for this man being in prison and waiting for him to come home so they can do whatever they want to do with
no, I didn't dig deep into like episode 2 breakdowns and all that because I wasn't able to join. So like I had no expectations of who that was, and I wasn't disappointed because I didn't have any expectation.
Gotcha.
It's like a random little scene. Like, okay, it's realistic because that's how women really do that, and men do that as well for other prisoners. Right. So it's like, okay, I get it. Like if this was real life, and it'd probably be way more because like even non-superheroes prisoners are getting crazy fan mail. So like I was like, okay, that's a nice touch. I like all these little moments where you're just like, okay, what would this really be like if this was real life? Like even like that fake LinkedIn page for Wong, like, okay, maybe they would have these kind of pages or whatever. And this is what people would say on the news or the gossip channels about these things. So I was like, all right, I'll take it.
I agree with you, man. 100%. And going back to seeing this again, to me, the show is being pitched and advertised as a comedy. But Chris, man, some of these jokes to me, man, and again, comedy is very subjective. But to me, everyone's trying to be funny. Everyone has a joke. Everyone's the butt of the joke. The group of attorneys or the judge, I don't even know who these are. These people, I don't know who determined the parole officer, I guess. But they were like, I don't know. They were just trying to, when everyone's trying to be funny, there's no one that's like grounded in a scene. It's just like a sitcom, or it's like a parody of itself. It felt off to me. I don't know if you felt the same, man. And again, I'm asking you because I find you to be very funny. I find your comedic chops to be really good on your reviews and whatnot. But did you have a good laugh, a good chuckle, or did some of these jokes kind of fall flat for you?
No, I didn't have any good laughs. I think Jennifer is the only like person that I want to be funny in this show. And like to your point, like even if people are really funny, then it could be, even if like there's like a movie of all funny people, like it could maybe get annoying because like if everyone's funny, there's no seriousness. But like these people are obviously not funny, so it's like, why are they even trying? Exactly. But Jennifer is really funny, like, and it doesn't seem like she's trying, like, and it's cool because it's like, you like the superhero, the women superheroes that we have, like, they're not really usually trying to be funny. Maybe Yelena is obviously now she's new, but like before that, they're just kicking ass and like being good at their job. So it's like she would be like a unique thing, and it's like she's in a unique position too. So I just wanted to see like really her do the joke stuff because the rest of it is not it's not hitting for me. Like the show is still not whack, but it's just like I wouldn't even call it a comedy. I'm like, this
Me
is
neither.
not. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kayla. She knows.
Yeah, and again, comedy's very subjective, and I know some people online probably found a lot of these jokes to be, extremely funny or over the top in a good way. But to me, it's just I think it's something with the writing with me. It's very inconsistent, like the quips and the quick responses, like you mentioned. Tatiana to me has really been nailing her comedic chops, but everyone else to me seems like they're trying to fit into a comedy, and they're, like you just said, they're not funny. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like if you're gonna be advertised as a comedic show, as the sitcom, 30-minute sitcom, hit me with the quick jokes, man. Come with the quick rips and having good banter. But again, to me, everyone just seems, besides Tatiana, everyone just seems to be trying to be funny, and it's just not working.
Even especially the guy that was defending the guy that got catfished. He was trying, and he was definitely.
Pug, is that Pug or whatever?
Yeah, and that was another thing too. I was like, why are they calling him Pug? Like I was like, what is his name?
Yeah,
I was very confused with that. And I'm like, he was to me overall, he was a weird casting, because the guy who got catfished, I was like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah,
but the lawyer, I was like, this is weird. I don't like any of this.
Even last week, he had his little joke, the poop joke, which I some people found to be funny. He was like, here's the bathroom. Here, I don't know. A lot of, like I said, besides, as you mentioned, Nikki.
That was an impressive line, but
I mean, it is helpful if you are in a new office. Yeah. I mean, we all been there.
It's risky. It's risky because it's like, damn, like they put that on a TV show. Like,
yeah,
one of those things that's like, damn, everyone thought that was like their best kept secret and like their real jobs.
Right. I mean, going back to Target, man, just a little behind the scenes. It was you never went to the bathroom where it was open to the public. You would go to the warehouse bathroom, man. And you go at certain times a day. It's a mathematical equation, bro.
You had to work in the overnight shifts.
It's a good plot to bring back Netflix. Yeah, I hope that and we will. I am very, very intrigued to see how they treat Daredevil. Which, quick random, Chris, how far did you get? I know you watched it for a little bit. How far did you end up getting into Daredevil?
Not far. No, I didn't even finish season 1. I'm still barely getting through it.
But you enjoyed it though when you were watching it, right?
No. It's a good show. It's a good show. No questions asked. It's a good show.
Oh yeah, I had to demote.
What's your picture?
My picture, Chris. If you know what, can I pull it up here?
Yeah, just pull up the real one. So
I switched it on Twitter and on Instagram. So let me go to my profile right quick. And by the way, follow me, follow Chris on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the good stuff. Let me share the page right quick. I think I had to, man. Once I was so inspired by this episode, I had to. So this is right now. This is my profile pic on Twitter and also on my Instagram. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is.
There she is. God.
Full glory. That is it. That's what we're doing.
Okay, that makes it like she got a fatty in that picture too. That's crazy.
It does, bro. I mean, like we said, man, this is She-Hulk. I'm looking at her in a whole new light, man. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. But I had to, man. I had to switch it up. I had to switch up the pick. Let's see here. Hey, Elliot, wish I could call in, but no worries, Meg. No worries. Take your time. I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, it is something off. I agree with you, Caitlin. Checking in with my man Jake. Shout out to Jake with the super chat. I have a lot of thoughts on the She-Hulk, but to sum it up, it's not working for me on all. This episode further proved that. Glad it's working for some people, though. You gotta see the extended, you're gonna go see the extended cut of No Way Home. Well, first off, Jake, shout out to you with the super chat. And to answer your first question, as far as it not working for you, I completely understand, man. As far as comedy's subjective. But the writing hasn't been as good, and I can understand where you're coming from there. But starting with you, Chris, are you going to be seeing this No Way Home? What is it? More Fun Edition, whatever version? I can't remember the name of it.
I love to go and check out the extended. I saw
11 minutes. 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like 11 minutes though. Like,
yeah, man.
Endgame when they added that new stuff. I barely remember what was even new in it. So like. Am I gonna go see it? Is it only one weekend or is it a couple? Is it like
I think it's just this weekend, if I'm being honest.
If it's only this weekend, it's not happening. It's Labor Day weekend. Like we got shit to do.
But
if it was a little lingering, I probably would have checked it out.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, I guess, how will they get that extra footage on? Because I own the 4K Blu-ray, so like.
Oh, you know how, Chris? It's gonna be another Blu-ray coming out probably by Christmas.
That's crazy.
extra bread,
Yeah,
man.
if it's gonna rock out for maybe a couple days after the weekend, I'll try to go. It's
Yeah,
it's not like we're paying really, so it's like whatever.
yeah. And plus, too, I
I'm looking
think
at the thing now. I guess they're showing it only in Dolby and not on IMAX, which is kind of
again, they're trying to extra money for that Dolby, and I know too.
no. I mean, like they have regular theaters, but they're not showing
Oh,
it in IMAX. Is what I
oh,
mean.
gotcha. Because I know I was going to say I know it's either tomorrow or Saturday. It's like National Cinema Day, where it's like you can watch any movie, any format for $3.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm pretty sure it's going to make a good amount of chunk of change, especially for people that obviously love everything Spider-Man. So it extra money in the bank account for Sony with this one. So and to answer your question, I'm not going to be seeing it. I'll wait till it come out on Blu-ray or online because it'll be online. That extra 11
Yeah.
minutes, and I think there's like an extra post-credit scene or something like that, which
Oh,
probably is going
yeah.
to be a joke or something.
Maybe yeah. Maybe just our YouTube friends will tell us whether we
Yeah,
should.
exactly. I'll watch someone's breakdown of what it is, and yeah, this is 100% a cash grab. Which, to be fair, everything is a cash grab. Everything that's put out to us is meant to make money, so I can't blame them there. So it is what it is. But going back into all of it, like I said, we talked about the court trial stuff. I found Mr. Judge here to be, again, everyone's funny. Everyone has a joke. Everyone has their 2 cents to add to the situation. Again,
Judge is terrible.
it feels like a fantasy world where, everyone's a comedian. But again, it would make sense to me if everyone's being funny, if Jennifer was in all these moments, but she's not even in the scene. And everyone, like I said, is still trying to be flimsical and comedic. And it's just, again, I don't find that to be all that funny. But again, very subjective. But I do have a question for you, Chris. This young lady on the screen now, do you want more from this shape-shifting elf? And will she be the next Avenger?
Oh, Jesus
Because that's a
Christ.
pretty cool power. I mean, she could be a scroll, join the scrolls.
I don't want any more of her. And I don't know, like, where did the judge go when she just sat on the bench? Like,
Bro, I didn't even want to bring that up because I thought that was just so goofy. Like, you're in a room full of other people. No one saw her get up and walk up on the, like, what?
let that be a regular ass black criminal that they're trying to
Oh, they
put.
would have been buried under the jail
I'm
with
not,
Abomination.
the show's already too woke. Let me not get rich.
I don't know, man. I think we might get more of her in the future. I'm surprised Taika didn't like put her in Thor 4 and be like Thor's new buddy and replace
I'm
Korg.
just like, why not just get an Asgardian that we've seen already? Like, unless
Yeah, that would have been something too. Or even again to play to, like I said, my biggest complaint was everyone was a comedian. It would have been nice to have like an actual elf that was like meant to be like you said, even if it's not like world-ending plans, but just like someone that's a little bit more serious.
and then just like, why wasn't it a scroll too? Because like, isn't it just like annoying?
That
Now
would have been great.
now
World
the new
building.
Asgardians are also
Yeah,
like
that would have been genius.
everyone's a shapeshifter. Like, are you a shapeshifter? Like, am I even talking
Yeah.
to you right now?
I agree. That would have, because I think the next, chronologically speaking, we're ending phase 4 with Black Panther, and then the next thing is secret invasion. So that would have been perfect because that's going to be dealing with scrolls and all that stuff. So I don't know, Chris, man, maybe we should be writing the next show, bro, because they're missing out. They're missing out, bro. But I do think we might get her. I even think we'll see that elf again probably this season, if I'm being honest with you, because the punishment was what they gave her 90 days in detention center.
They gave her 90 days, and I'm like,
yeah, she was impersonating a celebrity, took someone's money, and I'm surprised. The punishment did not fit the crime. That's what we'll say there.
it was like people's court. It was like,
yeah, very
all right, you're awarded your rent that you paid this deadbeat.
They should have had like a little, interview camera at the end and interviewed them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of punishment fitting the crime, Abomination, Chris, he's now a reformed man. He pleaded his case. Jennifer did her thing. Wong came in the clutch to say, yes, he was the reason why, he was out of jail. Abomination shows that he is, by all accounts, a new man. He even changes into this look, Chris, is not working, bro. Again, I know we briefly talked about it with Shang-Chi and, I don't think Marvel has officially said why he looks so much different than what he looked like in 2008 Hulk.
Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Some people have speculated that they believe that, evolution maybe, because he is, I guess, in the comics, he's more kind of reptilian. So he's probably evolved since the last time we saw him. I don't know. But I don't like the look. But more importantly, I don't like the voice. When we hear Tim Roth voicing the Abomination, he sounds like Tim Roth, and it doesn't sound like all these characters from the Hulk to Abomination have now been minimized to jokes and just not menacing characters at all. Chris, is there any hope to get any more savageness from the Hulk or Abomination, or is it just this is who they are now?
Maybe not Abomination. Maybe the Hulk.
Maybe the Hulk.
I think Marvel really watches your live streams and they don't want to let you down anymore. Like you've been bashing the Hulk for years, so I think they're gonna turn it around for you.
I hope so. I really do. But
I'll be honest. I don't remember how he sounded, so I gotta listen again.
How Abomination sounded?
Yeah.
He was a monster. He was, very similar to
yeah, but I forgot like if I hated it or liked it. I was like, okay, I don't remember. But the look is crazy different than the movie from 2008. Ridiculous,
bro.
He looks like the fucking Shape of Water guy.
He does. That's his uncle or cousin, man. It looks. I don't like it. I don't like the look. I don't like the voice. Again, it's a small little thing for the show, but it's still a part of the show, and I don't like it. I don't like it, Chris. But I hope that, and I think again, the trailers just give so much away these days. But from what I remember from the trailer, we will be seeing him again in the show. And there was a scene where he's in, I think she said he's going to have a meditation retreat. I think we're going to actually see that later on in the season of him outside of court doing his thing.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
see,
in that trailer,
yeah. We'll see if there's more to come with Abomination in the best way possible. But shout out to Mike, man. He made before we went live, he made a video tying us into the X-Men. How these people said, okay, we'll make sure that you can, you'll be free, but you have to wear like pretty much a ankle bracelet as far as controlling his power. So whenever he turns into Abomination, he'll go back to jail. And I know Michael in his video kind of related that to the mutants. How and even I mentioned to Mike in this post, I don't know why, but I was watching Deadpool 2 the other day, and I remember even in that film they had the little collars on the mutants to kind of depower
inhibitors, yeah.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. Again, little Easter eggs, little something that maybe Marvel's alluding to control these humans, superhumans. Is
calling it a cure.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, like I said, Mike from Blackgate Comic Geek, he alluded to maybe it's opening the door for some X-Men in the future, man.
Which, but remember from episode 1 when they had that pulse and they said they had if you break it down and they had the claws. Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, I know they're just trolling us, but whatever.
Most likely. Yeah. Because again, why would you have such a huge character like that in such a small, insignificant blink?
Just giving us a little something.
Yeah, just throwing stuff at us. I can, have fun with it. But wrapping up the episode, man, and we'll get into some of these questions that people have, and if people want to join in and ask us questions or whatnot, we can definitely bring them in. But wrapping it up, man, we see homeboy Dennis wins his case. They grant him the money. Meg Thee Stallion, she's in the courtroom with her, tongue all out and doing all that Meg Thee Stallion-ness going on. And ultimately, like we said, they did grant Emil his parole. So he's indebted to Jen for, we'll see what that means in the future. So wrapping it up, man, we end with Jen. She's on the news. She's, the guy saying that we want to hear your workout regimen and whatnot. And she's trying to get her side of the story out there and try to control her narrative and let people know that she is more than a She-Hulk. She's a human being with emotions and is a good ass lawyer. But wrapping it up, bro, I am so tired of Disney Plus and these villains. I don't know what to think, Chris. I think at this point, between the Flag Smashers, the Power Broker, the Tracksuit Mafia, the disrespect on Kingpin, and now we have what I've been told, because I haven't read any She-Hulk comics. We are now being introduced to the Wrecking Crew with Asgardian weapons from I don't know where. I guess they went to Asgard, or this can be from Jotari weapons from
They
the
said that they
first
went to. I
movie.
thought they said that they robbed them from New Asgard. No.
Okay, you're right. They did say that. Yeah, yeah. So Thor needs to not Thor, but Valkyrie needs to beef up the
Valkyrie.
security there. People are just
Yeah.
running in and out of there.
Yeah.
What do you think, man, about this wrecking crew? Is this someone? Are we looking at another Flag Smashers, Chris, or
No,
are
they're
they
pretty
someone that?
cheesy. They have nothing to offer. The scene is good, but the
Yeah.
goons are stupid.
And here's, by the way, this is a comparison of them in I guess an animated form versus what we got in live action. We say downgrade, Chris?
Yeah, they look way cooler on the fucking cartoon. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, these guys were terrible. And also, like, what are you thinking? Like, was the idea that they knew it was She-Hulk? No, like, like, what do you think is gonna happen? I guess they were trying to pierce her before she turned.
Yeah, that the one guy said that that when she turned to the Hulk that he wasn't able to get the blood sample, which again we don't know where the show's going. We don't necessarily have a quote unquote villain, but now this kind of opens that door when we saw the Hulk disposing of the blood. The research, if anyone gets their hands on it, obviously that can be bad. So someone wants to get their hands on She-Hulk's blood, Chris, which again, putting on our little caps of speculation, man. Any thoughts, Chris, on who this boss can be? Who wants She-Hulk's blood? I'll throw some names at you. Val, obviously, who's recruiting people. Power Broker, we know she's out there. Sharon Carter. Who do you think, Chris, is trying to get this blood, bro?
Yeah, interesting question. Interesting question. I'm not sure. Um, I have no idea. Maybe it is Val.
Trying to
I'm
make her
trying to
own
think.
Hulk?
Yeah, I guess maybe I'm trying to keep it in the Disney Plus world. But yeah, maybe it is Val.
I think so, bro. I think because again, rest in peace to William Hurt, who played General Ross for all those years, who passed away last year. I don't know
Yeah.
if they were going to ever go that route, which he became the Red Hulk in the comics. I don't know if they're not recasting T'Challa, so I don't know if they're going to recast Thunderbolt Ross. So I don't know if
Don't get them
it
started,
is.
man. Just relax.
Yeah,
Just relax. Don't
yeah.
get people started.
But yeah, I don't know who besides, like you said, Val and I hate to bring it up, but the Power Broker, obviously she's working with someone. We know the 10 Rings are still, live and well with Shang-Chi's daughter or sister running those quarters. So
Maybe it's
yeah,
King.
man. Who did you say? Kingpin?
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Your favorite
Hawaiian shirt wearing Kingpin. I mean, that could work too because you know what, Chris, you might be onto something because he already hired the goofy ass tracksuit mafia crew, so they look just as goofy. So yeah, man, you might be right on that one, bro. But wrapping it up, my man. Oh, and also too, I guess, how did you take? I don't know if let me pull it
the
up here.
scene when she saw herself.
Yeah, when she's looking in the reflection, did you take it more as this is my life now? Maybe She-Hulk can be useful because obviously in normal circumstances, if a woman gets surrounded by 5 men in an alley,
Yeah,
normally
credits.
her odds are pretty low. But how did you take in this moment of reflection?
Literally. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good scene, a good way to end the episode. Well, if only they ended it there. But no, I saw it as like, damn, like maybe I need this girl, or maybe I need this to happen, like, because she's protecting me. But also a part of it was like, this is really my life. Like, I'm really out here doing this. Like, is my worth only like I couldn't get a job until I was She-Hulk. I couldn't beat these people's ass until I was She-Hulk. So it's like, what was I nothing before this? I don't know. It could get deep.
Yeah, I'm very curious again because obviously again open for interpretation, and obviously I hope they continue that because again that when we're putting aside the jokes and the fairies and the shapeshifters and Meg the Stallion, at the core of this story is still Jen's story and her acceptance of this new lifestyle of being a superhero and the pros and the cons of that. So I hope that they explore that and not just throw that element away. And also, we talked about it last week with the whole women in the workplace. That was something that was kind of introduced, but not really have been touched on since. She just kind of accepted the fact that, okay, I guess I just have to be She-Hulk and just appease the audience. So I'll hope that they do continue to explore the mindset of Jennifer and these new set of powers. But I think you already said it, man. The episode did not end there, Chris, but we got maybe the most earth-shattering
And before
Booty
you get to that,
shaking. Yeah.
I meant to say this in the first episode. I do love the art that they're doing in the credits,
Yeah. The little
like,
post credit.
and the
Yeah, I
music is
agree.
groovy. Like, it's both, it's fire. It's super clean. Like, I would like buy that art and put it up on my wall. Like,
I
fire.
agree. I agree. It's because it's not only cool, like you said, to look at, but it also is visual storytelling.
It's
Because they
like, yeah,
actually
it's part of the story. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly, which is pretty neat and pretty cool. Which I really, like you said, I very much enjoy
yeah.
those
And
elements.
it's like it's almost like a. I mean, I'm guessing that's what they're going for, like courtroom art, like the people
Mhm.
who.
Who draw the courts? Yep, 100%. Yeah, man. But like you said, Chris, it doesn't end there, my friend. Like I said, the most ass shaking post credit scene that we've ever got in the MCU. Um, the floor is yours, Chris. When you saw this scene play out, and wherever you want to go, Chris, I'll go on this journey with you, man. Your thoughts on this post credit scene?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but I know, like, I can't. I'm trying to think about what that meeting would be like to tell Meg, like, all right, Meg, this is what we want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is how the episode is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way. I mean, I guess she's doing it, obviously, but like, in what world would she be like, this is the best you can do? If it was me, and I had to have some stupid twerking thing, I would have it where, um, where maybe She-Hulk is not so familiar with Meg or like whatever. So like she's like doing research or whatever. So like we see her watching Meg videos on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and trying to emulate it and doing terribly. And then Meg comes in and you see Meg's face of like disappointment and disgust. And she was like, and she said like, oh well, I was trying to hire you to be my lawyer after you did such a good job, but after seeing those moves, like I'm having second thoughts. And end it. Don't make Meg go out there and twerk. Just make it like that's what they do when they watch Meg. They try to twerk like her.
Yeah.
You don't need
Mm-hmm.
to have this fucking like girl power moment of them just twerking and looking stupid. Like that's what I would have done if I was rewriting this.
Well, we can now say Meg Thee Stallion is a part of the MCU, man. She is ass shaking her way to the top charts. Shout out to Meg. This is a huge moment for her. Obviously, she's already a mega star,
Mega star.
Pun intended. She's huge, man. But I think this actually probably even opens up her stream of revenue with that Disney money, man. You're in the households of millions of people. You're in an MCU project. Who's next, Chris? Cardi B, Drizzy Drake,
Obviously,
Lil
it's
Baby,
Doja Cat because
Doja Cat. Oh yeah.
definitely
Doja
we're
Cat.
definitely watching Doja Cat's villain
Mhm.
origin story right now unfold on her Instagram.
Listen, man, Meg Thee Stallion had to crawl for these other artists can run into the MCU. I think the floodgates have been open, Chris. Like I said, Phase 6, people are speculating Dune, Galactus, so on and so forth. But I think, like I said, Drizzy Drake can be the next big bad in the MCU. I think that those doors, Jimmy on his wheelchair can come back and destroy the MCU, bro.
Freaking Jimmy.
I think that's where we're headed, bro. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, that is myself and Chris's thoughts on this third episode of She-Hulk. And what we're going to do now is I have put some questions into the community tab. So me and Chris will answer some of these questions. And Chris, man, you got, I don't know, another 20 minutes or so? Because what I'll do is share this link, my friend, and maybe we can get some people in here to share their thoughts on this episode. What do you think about that?
20 minutes sounds good to me.
Do it, bro. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am shunning away any robots or bots or sex bots, and I just want real live human beings to come and join the conversation. And if you're on some foolery, we're gonna get you out of here ASAP. So the stream link is in the live chat. Again, if you have a question for myself or Chris, or if you want to throw your 2 cents into this conversation as far as your thoughts on the episode, by all means, the lines are open for you to let us know what you thought of the episode. So as you can see on the screen now, just click that link in the chat and come and join me and Chris. Let us know what you think. So meanwhile, Chris, I'm going to pull up these questions here, bro, that we got for some people out there that wants to know from me and you. And as I'm pulling up, I'll just shoot the first question to you, Chris. What does someone ask? Kenny asks, Wong's worthy opponent was Emil, but Strange was Dormammu. Seems a little unfair. Would you again going back to Mr. Wong and his reasonings for letting Abomination go, man? How do you feel about that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would that be your like you only can think of this one person? Like, you know all these guys, like you know all these villains, and you could even like spar with some of the people who are like on your side, like any of it. Like, call Thor and like just out of Thor.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I would have thought that it would have been, you want a challenge. Like I said, Wanda's in Westview taking people hostage, bro. You can do that, or, there's so many other things that Wong could have done. So I definitely think it was just
You could,
meant
and
to
then
be
you could even
funny.
just said like Wong like made a mistake where maybe he was like not wanting to spar this person, but someone in the underground ring was like, "Yo, like I heard you have a connection to get Abomination here," and he's
Hmm.
like, "No, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't abuse my powers this way." Then we find out that Wong is flawed too, like Strange. I
Hmm.
would even take that.
I agree. I agree, man. I feel like it was more to fit the narrative in the show and not like a logical reason why he would do that. So,
Yeah.
shout out to Kenny with a good question. And like I said, Kenny, if you're still here, I know you want to join a little bit earlier. So, definitely, Kenny, the lines are open for you to join. Who else do we have here? DAZ says, I love that She-Hulk has her own show and there's no cameos every week besides Wong, Bruce, and the Mill, but they're right after the cringy Make the Stallion storyline hijacks the story. Yeah, it's definitely funny how, yeah, I love that moment when she breaks the wall there. Would it the fan? I don't feel like I don't know how I feel about the show. Episode 3, I laughed only once. Yeah, the jokes we talked about it didn't really work all that well. 4LYF Chris, they said, was Jen part of the blip in Infinity War? What do you think, Chris? You think she was blipped in those 5 years?
I feel like did they touch on that in episode 1?
I can't remember. I really don't remember. Because maybe in those 5 years she got her law degree. I don't know. I don't think she was blipped, for being honest.
Okay, yeah, I feel like she would have addressed that with Banner,
Yeah,
with
me
Bruce,
too.
I should say.
What else here? Awesome 1 2 3 4. How many Avengers are there past posts or past in game? How many Avengers are there past in game? Well, we only
Well, like from original Avengers,
yeah.
Thor.
Cap is, yeah, I would say Cap is gone. Iron Man died. Black Widow died. So yeah, Thor and Hulk and I guess Hawkeye is still around.
Correct. Yeah.
Let's see here. I want to what I want to know is what club is She-Hulk and Meg going to? Those ladies, they know how to party. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And then we got other people that say they don't like the show.
I'd rather die than watch the show. The internet
Yeah,
is so crazy.
so crazy, so crazy. But Chris, man, we got two people in the back room, my friend, coming in. One is making a return. Excited to see her back, and then another gentleman, Kenny. He's always leaving some great comments, man. So introducing Kenny and
Yeah.
Caitlin to the stream. What's going on?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
What's
hey,
up? What's up in the building? Look at this. What a moment.
Kenny and
Been waiting for
Caitlin
this to
Can
roll
joining
everybody
out.
hear
us
me?
Yes.
loud and
Yeah, we
clear,
hear you.
man.
We hear you,
We can
bro.
hear you, man. How
Awesome.
you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't
Caitlin,
believe
how you
I'm
doing?
actually eye to eye with you. This is weird.
Hey man, this is what we do, bro. I love to see you in the chat, Kenny. Again, you leave some of the best comments, always put a smile on my face, always makes me think like, oh, that's a good question. So I appreciate you. And Caitlin, I always love seeing your comments and joining us. So hey man, welcome to the stream. What you got for us, Caitlin and Kenny? Any questions? How did you all feel about this third episode? I'll start with you, Kenny.
Well, I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on the show.
Yeah, man.
I think watching this show through the point of view, kind of through the lens of She-Hulk, is a lot easier. I mean, I'm comparing it to like Deadpool and Joker in a way that like those stories can be kind of viewed through their eyes. And
Yeah,
there are some scenes where the characters are acting very out of character, especially Wong. Like,
yeah.
but it seems like this version of Wong is a version of Wong that She-Hulk wants us to see. And same with the misogynistic kind of behavior by a lot of people. It seems like it's a parody of the real world. The real world does have those things, those problems that women have to deal with. But it seems like they've just turned it to 11, like Tate said. So, I mean, it's easier for me to watch the show if I view it through a lens of She-Hulk. It's just easier. Like She-Hulk made She-Hulk's show. This is her making her show. Like Deadpool made Deadpool's movie.
Right.
So it's just easier for me to watch it that way.
Bro, that is an incredible take. That is a great way to kind of pose it, and I 100% agree with you, man. And like we were saying earlier, it if you do look at it in that lens and knowing that this is how we met the character, was kind of in this kind of funny vein, more jokey, non-serious vein, and it makes some of these more goofy, over the top moments a little bit more palpable because we know what kind of tone we're playing in. So I definitely that's a good point.
It's a real good point, and I'm gonna do my patented Tait random connection, because then it makes me think of Boy Meets World. All right, relax. Because Boy Meets World, they tell you like, oh, like like Eric, Corey's brother, was like the cool guy in the early episodes. Then when they got to college, he was like the goofy one. And they explain it because like that's how Corey was seeing the world. Like when you were younger, your older brother was a super cool and all this. And then when you get older, you realize this dude was just kind of like a goofy, like he wasn't that cool or maybe that popular. So like that's a good point to say like, okay, we're just watching the show through their perspective. So like if that's how they're experiencing it, that's how I experience it.
100%.
That's kind of why it has a different tone than the whole MCU. The whole MCU has kind of its own tone. Right. She-Hulk's tone is She-Hulk's tone. She has her own tone.
I mean, look at Miss Marvel. We saw it through a very much of a kid's perspective, her coming of age story and all that stuff. So very well said, Kenny. And I definitely, next time I watch, I'll try to put that into the forefront more in regards to the only pushback I have with you there, Kenny, is when we're not with She-Hulk. I feel like when she's not in the scene, like the courtroom scene I was talking about earlier with the judge cracking jokes and everyone's a comedian, that to me should be more grounded in reality versus being so goofy and jokey, because she's not even involved in that narrative. So she wouldn't have her, kind of lens on that situation. But definitely a good point. Caitlin, your thoughts on what Kenny said and your thoughts on this third episode? Nope. Is she there, Caitlin? Mic check. Mic check. I see you. Can you hear me? Oh.
Yes, I hear you.
There you go.
Do you hear me?
You loud and clear.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I think Kenny's point is very interesting. I haven't thought about that before. Mm-hmm. It would kind of make sense as to why the tone is different, and like why some character traits or like some characters are exaggerated in a way. And I guess it makes sense if we look at it like that, but I'm still a bit on the fence.
To drop the bomb on
the show. I definitely think that this episode was a lot better than previous two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed this episode more than the last two, definitely. But still, some things are not working for me. Mm-hmm. I like to see Wong, the Asgardian elf, was funny in my opinion. Like I laughed with her, thought it was funny. When they first were talking about shapeshifters, I thought maybe that it was a Skrull and not an Asgardian elf, because that's a known concept. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I was a bit like, okay. And then they did a bit too much, I think, like with her transformations. And I don't know, I just feel a bit double about this today.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I totally agree with you. I thought the shapeshifter angle would have been perfect, like we said earlier with Chris, to tie that into Secret Invasion. Skrull. It kind of leads into the Skrulls have infiltrated every level of society and courtrooms and politics, and I thought that was probably a missed opportunity. Where again, this goes back to the greater narrative that I know Caitlin talks about a lot, and we've talked about on the channel as far as Phase 4 feeling so disconnected to the MCU. It's like it doesn't seem as cohesive as the previous three phases. And like we just said, that would have been a perfect segue to open up the ideas to Skrulls. Mm-hmm. But question I have for Caitlin and Kenny is back to Wong. And AZ Gaming says, Wong seems to be the same to me. I completely disagree, because Wong, when we first met Wong, he was the guy that was like, no, and even most recently in Spider-Man, do not do this spell. Do not play around with the magical stuff. And now he's breaking the rules and letting Abomination to spar and gun out of jail. I don't know. I feel like this is Wong was kind of, I don't want to say dumbed down, but Wong was meant to fit into this.
A lot of it, I thought he was being not cloned, but shapeshifted. I'm like, oh, this must not be really Wong, because I was like, he's acting so crazy that I was like, maybe this is not him. But in the end, I think they were making it clear that it was. So I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Caitlin, your thoughts on, I don't know, are you, number one, are you a Wong fan? And number two, how do you feel about his scenes in this?
Number one fan. Get it?
Number one?
Number one.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to see Wong. He did act a bit out of character, but then he also dropped the line like, "Oh, let's not do the mind erasing thing." So I like that reference to
Spider-Man
No Way
call,
Home. It can get messy, so I like that. But then again, I was thinking like, wait, how does he remember that? Because everyone's memory was wiped of Peter Parker, so does the spell then is also wiped? Like I was thinking a bit like, how does that work? But I guess yeah, was a good reference. Yeah, I don't know. Wong in Shang-Chi was also a bit out of character, so that's linked with this, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what's up with him because this is a totally different Wong than we saw in Multiverse of Madness. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And maybe he is a scroll. I don't know, because it very much, Kenny, your thoughts on Wong and this kind of inconsistency of his characteristics of just being kind of, like I said, breaking people out of jail. And I don't know, he seems a bit off. Do you agree with us, Kenny, or do you think it's just,
yeah, man, I didn't even consider maybe he was a scroll. Wow, that's that just hit me. But yeah, every character in this show, whether they're new characters or old characters, feel different, feel tailored for the show.
Yeah.
And Wong, I love Wong. Wong's one of my favorite characters. I feel like he's the underdog. I feel, all of Infinity War could have been avoided if they would have just let this man Wong just fight. Let Strange take care of the Sanctum Sanctorum. Let Wong join the Avengers. But yeah, this does feel like a different Wong. I don't hate him because, like, again, I watch this show through a lens, and it makes it much easier for me to watch. And through that lens, Wong is amazing. I mean, through Jennifer Walters' lens, it's just another Wong.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Again, I just felt it was a little bit of a cheap ploy to say that he only wanted to let him go for he can spar and challenge him. But
yeah, I didn't like that.
Social Supremes is more than just physical. It's mental. It's spiritually. So your only excuse to let him out is because you want to physically fight someone. It seems very kind of silly to me, considering how powerful the Social Supremes are.
Yeah.
Strange went through hell to become the Sorcerer Supreme. Literally, went through hell, and Wong just had to get in a boxing match.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
Little, like I said, and again, Caitlin, I know you appreciate this a lot. That Phase 4 again, it just feels so kind of disconnected to this the cohesiveness that we've gotten so far. But tossing it back to our special guests here before we kind of wrap up things. But Caitlin, did you have any particular scenes that you want to highlight, or moments, or any theories for you, Caitlin, for who the Wrecking Crew is? Who's their boss? Who's giving them these orders to attack She-Hulk?
So to answer the first part of your question, I really liked the Brentford wall scenes this time. I thought they were funny with Jen, just like hands off the wheel talking to the camera. I thought that was good. And then in the restaurant as well, or at the cafe when she said like, "Oh, connecting the A and B story."
That was very Deadpool.
That was good. I like that this time, and I think that's like one of the highlights that I didn't expect I would like in the show, that her talking to us, to the camera. But I think it's well balanced. It's not too much. It's not annoying yet because in the first episode I was a bit afraid that they would overdo it and it would get annoying. But I think that's all right.
Any theories on the Wrecking Crew?
I think it's fine. And then as for the Wrecking Crew video, maybe it's Roxxon, and that Roxxon was also the company from the lawsuit, something I heard in another video. But I think, I think it might also be linked to Val or the Power Broker, something leading up to the Thunderbolts, because they're out to get Jen's blood.
Right.
And
wouldn't it be crazy if it was Justin Hammer?
Ross.
Where has he been, bro? Yeah.
I just rewatched Iron Man 2. That would be.
Is it still a masterpiece, Caitlin?
I think it might be
cinema?
I enjoyed it. It's definitely much better than the show, I have to say. But yeah, I think I'm thinking back to Incredible Hulk, General Ross. Unfortunately, he's not around anymore, but he was very invested in investigating the blood, like the super soldier serum, and I think might be tied into that, and that we get somehow a connection with the 2008 movie.
I like that. I like where your mind's at, Kaylin. Also, going back to the Incredible Hulk, where's the leader? The leader's still out there, right? He's a big foe of the Hulk, so that's someone that uses his intellect a lot to take advantage of certain situations. So maybe we'll get a return from that character too. But well said, Kaylin. Well said. Kenny, man, same question for you, man. Any other standout moments, and do you have any theories or predictions on who could be leading the Wrecking Crew?
I mean, I think it's Valentina. I'm hopeful that it is somebody new. It could be just a whole new villain that they made for just this show. Because I mean, She-Hulk doesn't have the greatest rogues gallery. I mean, her main villain in the comics has already shown up. Tatiana has already shown up
in the worst way.
Like
I'm gonna say she's
in the worst way. And
gosh, yeah, that's scene.
Like I said in the chat, Tatiana and Doom have connection in the comics. Some small connection, but it's a connection nonetheless.
Okay.
But yeah, the overall show for me, and I'm a huge fan of the MCU. It's a great show. I mean, it's not for everybody, but if you can put on that wool over your eyes, it's a lot easier to watch. I mean,
I gotta hear Kenny's Disney Plus rankings for the shows.
Oh yeah, put them on. Let's put you on the spot, Kenny. Again, there's been seven.
I was about to say, is this 7?
WandaVision, Falcon, Loki. I don't know if you want to include What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and now this. Oh, and Miss Marvel. So 8, yeah.
Well, I'll start with my number 1, which was probably Loki for sure. I mean,
that's why you're my guy, Kenny. That's why you're my guy.
I mean, I've rewatched Loki multiple times. I've seen every episode multiple times, dissected every episode just because. WandaVision was the first, and it surprised me. I didn't expect, of course, just being on the edge of your seat every episode that did it for me. And then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then I'll put She-Hulk out after Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
All right.
Okay. Over Mr. Moon Knight and Miss Marvel and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even consider I Am Groot.
I didn't even watch it.
No, yeah. I haven't watched it either.
Yeah, I have no desire to watch it either.
The Hawkeye is probably my least favorite of all of them.
Kenny, man, you are hitting all the notes, man. You are speaking my language, my friend.
It's not that I disliked it. I just didn't like it as much as every other MCU property. It's not that it's bad to me. It's just not. I mean, I'm not gonna rewatch it.
Yeah. So do you have What If second to last, or do you have Miss Marvel second to last?
I'd say What If is second to last, just because it was. I don't know if you've ever read the What If comics, but they didn't do enough of what they could have done in What If. And if you've ever read the What If comics, then that show is just. I mean, it's not even an option for me. Like, I've read the comics, so that What If show is all of the MCU is essentially a what if you've read the comics. So
well said.
And it's a cartoon, so.
Yeah, kind of takes little points down. But before our guests and my amazing homie Chris, we head out for the day. And again, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thumbs up, share, comment, all that great stuff. One more question I have for the panel. We're 2 more questions, actually. Starting with you, Chris. Who is the cooler Hulk? Is it Dabbing Hulk or is it Twerking She-Hulk? Hot seat. Who you going?
The cooler Hulk is Dabbing Hulk.
Dabbing Hulk?
Like the dab was a bad moment, but even that scene at the breakfast, it was for the kids, and he played it cool. Like, and he tried to put Ant-Man on, like he tried to put his boys on. Like, you got to respect that. He didn't let the fame get to his head. He could have clowned him for not wanting it. He's like, I'm trying to uplift y'all. Like, I just told Kev. So Dabbing Hulk, I'm gonna stand up for him.
Okay, Caitlin. Same question for you. Are you going to the club with She-Hulk and Meg, or are you dabbing with the Hulk?
I think I'll go for Hulk in
Wow,
Endgame.
you guys are surprising. Okay.
I think.
Look how happy those
Just
kids are, man. You can't put a price on
For
that.
think,
kids.
yeah, and especially it's such a lift up for him because before he was seen as a monster, and then now
Yeah.
he's back as
Yeah.
Banner.
Mm. Nope, I think we
Hulk
frozen there for a second.
meshed together, and nice Hulk talking to them.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we got two Hulks, Kenny, man, and I'm gonna share my thoughts. But Kenny, who you going with, man? Are you dabbing it up with Hulk, or you are twerking with She-Hulk?
It depends. Like, is Hulk dabbing me, and is She-Hulk twerking on me? Because I mean,
It's a great
I
follow-up
Yeah,
mean,
question.
it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer then, right?
yeah. I don't need to be dabbed at. I'm good on the
Yeah.
dabs. I get. I mean, my kids dab me, so
Yeah.
I could use a twerk.
Kenny,
Nice.
man, listen, man, you're speaking my language, man. That's why I'm surprised for Caitlin. I'm surprised with. I mean, how do
Ooh,
you say no to a twerking Hulk?
Look
I
at
don't
this
know how
Zoom
y'all
right
do.
now.
I don't know. I'm going with that one. And the last question before we wrap it up, we know who America's ass was for the longest time.
Okay.
It was Cap. But I think Caitlin and Kenny and everyone in the chat and Chris, I think we now can officially say this is America's ass. Am I wrong in saying that, Chris, Caitlin, and Kenny?
You are
Or
1000% wrong.
is still Cap?
It's still
Still
Them
Cap?
Cap.
hamstrings.
yeah,
That's America's hamstrings.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We'll
Fish.
try.
The hammies are
yeah,
crazy.
it's Cap.
I tried She-Hulk. I tried.
Sorry, Elliot.
Listen, Kenny, Caitlin, again, guys, I can't thank you enough for number one, being a part of this community. Number two, consistently supporting the channel, great comments, and more importantly, seeing you guys' face is so awesome. So,
Yeah, it is.
Caitlin, Kenny, you guys are awesome. The lines, I'm loving interacting with the community more. So definitely, if you guys want to join in the future, that door is always open. But again, I appreciate you guys both being a part of the community.
Oh yeah, man. And I subscribe to Tate's Take because it's a
Awesome.
good channel.
Awesome. Yes, it is.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's epic.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, Caitlin, Kenny, you guys are
Okay.
awesome. You guys have a good rest of your day.
See you
Peace.
guys.
Awesome. Chris, man, wrapping it
Bye.
up, my friend. Great stream, great discussions, great guest, fun time overall, man. And I can't thank you enough. Hopefully next week, I know our homegirl Amanda has some things to do. Hopefully we can get the crew back together, the wrecking crew, the ace crew next week, hopefully. But nonetheless, man, I can't thank you enough for chopping it up with me, man, and having this discussion. To outro yourself out, man, again, let the people know where they can find you and what is next on Tay's Take.
Awesome recap. I love having the chat come in and be able to get some FaceTime and get some more interaction. That's a nice little ad that you dropped there, especially seeing people that have been talking to us for a good amount of time. So that's really cool ad. Chris Tait of Tait's Take. What is next for me? Let's see. I just did a couple things for Netflix. I just did Me Time Kevin Hart, and I did a show called Partner Track on Netflix. That's on my channel now if you guys want to see that. And then I have I'm back on my true crime. I'm back in my true crime bag. So I'm going crazy with that one. That one that's going to be released, I think next week or maybe the week after. And if I can, I don't think there's any new releases this weekend that's big. So yeah, maybe then I'll do a quick video on Top Gun. I'll be the latest Top Gun review ever on TikTok. I'll let the world know. They'd be like, how you haven't seen Top Gun? But also in true Chris Tait fashion, though, I did see like Avatar, which is the highest grossing movie, like 5 years later. So like this is on brand for me. So it's cool.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, I mean, hey, people are, since it's out on digital and we have a lot of there's a lot of reaction channels, so you're not late to the boat, man. There's a lot of people out there that haven't seen it, and we're waiting for this moment for it to come out on digital. So I am very excited to hear your take on the original, but also the sequel. And of course, you keep me all up to date with all the true crimes and all the Netflix gems out there. So I always love catching up with you on that one, man. But like Chris said, there isn't a lot going on this week as far as weekend. I'm gonna
Yeah,
probably.
I was trying to look at the thing. I mean, I guess it's like Spider-Man is obviously going to be there. It's like,
yeah, I think next week is the big one because we're getting like a couple of the big ones for the month. But I do know Lord of the Rings is tonight, so I'm gonna probably check that out tonight and see what Middle Earth is looking like. I heard it was gorgeous, so we'll be watching that. But again, man, I'm so appreciative of your time, Chris, and being able to chop it up with Caitlin and Kenny and everyone in the chat tuning in, being awesome. You guys are great. Again, subscribe to Chris's channel. His link's in the description. Check out his TikTok, his Twitter, as well as Instagram. And you guys be safe. And, if y'all see a twerking She-Hulk out there,
jump on that thing.
Just then, let her do her thing. That's all I got to say. So for myself and Chris, y'all be safe.